Paulina, what is your favorite TV show from childhood? I'm curious.
Ooh, see, I wasn't a cable kid. I was one of those local TV kids, so I was watching a lot of stuff that don't make no sense for growing up in Southwest Houston. I think that's hard. I want to say like King of Queens or like My Wife and Kids, but then also Power Rangers. Cause like it's like these it's just like the weird mix of stuff that was going on there. There's also this weird like telenovela that would play that like I did not understand one word of it, but I was just so like invested. I'm like, what's gonna happen next? Did not know a word of Spanish, but like growing, it's like Southwest Houston though, so you basically become a part of the Hispanic community. Like you can't not like that is what it is.
There was one telenovela, so I can speak Spanish, and I think the one was called La Rosa de Guadalupe. And that was like a very specific one
See,
that I
I've seen the
always
memes for
remember.
that one. I've seen the memes for that one. Like they're just like they're dying and they're falling on the floor. It's the dramatics. Oh my gosh.
Now, I was a part of the cable kids and no cable kids. So when you
Mhm.
mentioned, I was like, wait a minute, we got PBS out here.
Yeah,
Is
yeah, yeah.
we got Cyber Chase, we got Between the Lions, we
Between
got
the Lions was for real, for real. That was my stuff because I've always been a book girl. My parents would just like leave me at the library for hours. So I thought the Between the Lions was so cool. And because like they would always bring up like, I don't know why, it's really weird, but you know how like there's random like core memories, just random stuff that has nothing to do with nothing, but you just remember it. Between the
absolutely.
Lions, there was a really weird puppet like side thing. There was just some hands and they would just go like this. It just be snapping. But like this really weird like hand motion like this with the gloves.
It was
It
so specific.
it's so specific. It's so sensual for a children's show, like actually. But then again, it's like late 90s, early thousands. You can put anything on TV. No one cares. No one's questioning you about anything. So,
And then there was Cliffhanger, very specifically.
oh my God. I think there was one episode because that's, I always remember, you see, this didn't help me in school because I will remember a random plot from Between the Lines that I watched like 20 years ago, but I do not know how like photosynthesis works. That's something else. But there was literally a plot of Between the Lines of Cliffhanger where like he like got off the cliff and then he had like an existential crisis. And he's like, who am I if I'm not hanging off of cliffs? And I'm sitting there like 7 year olds, like, oh my God, who are you? Like that's like
Like,
that's
who am
children's
I?
TV. Like we're like, what am I doing? Like, oh my God. Like children's TV was so deep for no reason. And yeah, it's weird now because like sometimes you're just flipping through stuff and you see like Coco Melon. You're just like, that's not, they don't do it like they used to do it.
And they got the same nutritional value.
Exactly.
If you could live in any movie universe, a movie from your childhood, where would you want to live?
See, it's concerning because like I feel like I'm getting to that point because I'm 26. So I'm getting to that point where I'm like, I feel like an adult and I'm looking back on stuff in my childhood and I'm like, that is illegal. That is concerning. Where was the adults for you in that moment? Well, it's like I used to be a big, I still am. I love Harry Potter, right? I read all the books. I remember the midnight premieres. I remember for the movies and the book and for the books, I was like, I remember being like in the Barnes and Noble line 11:30 with my white friends because my parents would never take me. Like, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like I was right there. But now I'm like looking back and I'm like, hold on a minute. Harry Potter had to murder an adult when he was 11 years old. What do you mean they left him with his abusive parents who neglected him, didn't even give him clean pants to wear? What do you mean Dumbledore is 615 years old and didn't even try to like do something to fight like magical Hitler? He left his 11-year-old. He's like, you know what? I abandoned you on a doorstep with your abusive family members and made you live under the stairs for 12 years. So now it's up to you to go fight magical Stalin. You have fun. I'm not gonna tell you nothing though. Bye. And like like so now I'm looking back, I'm like, that was you could have died. He did die. Like, and I'm just like, is everyone okay with this? He needs therapy. So these are my concerns.
I was never allowed to watch Harry Potter
See,
because witchcraft. And it was
no,
just like, well,
no, like same though. Because I were you a pastor's kid? Because I was a pastor's kid.
I wasn't a PK, but I did grow up in a Baptist household, and it was like, you're not watching this.
But here's the thing. My only positive is that I also wasn't allowed to watch it, but I was a middle child. So my parents just like did not pay attention to me. And like my older brother was doing like actual bad things, and I was in there in the corner just reading. So they're like, yeah, just let it go, let her do whatever she's doing, don't even matter. But like I promise you now, it's so frustrating because like I'll talk to my dad and I'll be like, blah blah blah, and he's like, wait, you were reading Harry Potter. And I'm like, sir, you didn't even know what school I went to. What are you getting upset about? But I didn't say that out loud because I'm not crazy. You know what I mean? I kept it on the inside. I just went, no, but oh, no, that's crazy. So wait, so were you also like going to church like 5 times a week, like
No, so it
first in, last
was
out?
no, so it wasn't like Kojic, but it was definitely, yeah, grew up churchy, grew up just going to church on Sundays and especially on holidays. Like the whole I remember every New Year's Eve, it was always like like up to the age about 13 when I realized people did other things than go to church for New Year's. And I was like,
No, sir. I grew up in Texas. Okay. I was in an African household in Texas. I didn't know there were people that weren't Christian until I was like 20. And I even went to like a private Christian university. Like, it's like, that's just the world. You know what I mean? Like, I would watch on TV because you see on TV people like, oh, the New Year's drop and they go to parties and stuff. I thought that was something you did when you were 30 or 40 or something like that. Like, I understood like you are in church, you are praying into the new year. When it hits 11:59, everyone goes, ah, and then they go into a worship song. Like, that's what happens.
yes.
I remember the first year I like didn't do that. And I really honestly felt like I was gonna be hit by a stick of lightning or something. I was like,
Right then and
right.
there.
I'm like, I'm sorry, but I want to stay home. I don't want to go out. Like, oh my God. Because like for us, church would start at 7 p.m.
And you're going till 1 a.m.
I want you to do
No
the math
qualms.
on that, sir. That is 6 hours.
No
That's
qualms.
6 hours of prayer. I don't have 20 minutes of prayer. Okay. Like, see, I'm really happy that like my parents don't pay attention to me because they're not going to see this. I promise you what I would do is that like, I know my dad would like turn his head, like look at me and be like, are you praying? So I would like mouth the lyrics to songs to make it look like I was praying. Because like I only had like 20 minutes of prayer. I don't have 6 hours of prayer. So like I would do the 20 minutes and then I think it was like the Danny Phantom theme song. Like that's not because like I'm just like young Danny Phantom, he was just 14, but you can't hear what I'm saying. So just like I'll do the Danny Phantom
Yo,
song. I did for a little bit. I memorized a part of like Bo Burnham's what's it called? Amboyo, but then I'm like, oh, there's curse words in that. Let me not be too sacrilegious.
wrong place, wrong time, wrong
Yeah,
place, wrong
let
time.
me not, let me not, let me not. And then it was so it was Danny Phantom theme song, and then it was like there was this Rhett and Link had a song that was like a rap battle between the two of them. I memorized that one, and though those would be my top two. I would just like keep saying that during the whole night. Yeah,
You were basically speaking in tongues.
I,
Like,
I I had to do what I had to do. I had to protect myself. I had to protect myself. Suffer town. My God.
oh my gosh. These are such specific experiences. And the fact that we can connect on them is just, well, and so you grew up in Texas. I grew up in Maryland. So Baltimore City, raised there. But that special.
Dang. It's because like, and then because like when I got older, I went to church for myself, and then so I didn't go to so I don't go to my home church now, which also because like I live in California now, so can't go there. Oh no, I'm so sad. And I promise you, the first time I went to, because the church I grew up in, African Presbyterian, and first time I went to a non-denominational church, I literally was like, "What is this clubhouse? Y'all got video games and snacks? Who the pastor wearing jeans?"
Jeans and tennis shoes.
Jeans and tennis shoes. And then the worship started happening. Tell me why the lights went down. Tell me why they got smoke machines on the stage. I said,
Said, what in the movie theater is this?
exactly. I said, and then worship, tell me why worship was 20 minutes. I said, and then they said church ends at 11. Do you know what church ended? 10:58. Yeah, early. I said, so I can plan for things after this. My whole day isn't gone. I can be here and then be like, oh, I'll meet you at 11:15. I'll actually be there at 11:15. Are you serious? I prompt it was world changing, life changing. It's been amazing. Oh my God.
I love that so much. I love it so much. Now, hard transition into content creation.
Yeah.
First video that I remember seeing of you was on my For You page on TikTok. And it was the video of you when you're going to hold a baby and, and you get rejected. And I was like, this is hilarious. You also remind me so much of one of my baby sister's friends.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh yeah, follow. Like there's no if and or booty about it. I gotta follow her.
Oh my God,
It's
yeah, thank you,
hilarious.
thank you.
And I was like, oh yeah, you're also on Instagram. So I followed you in both places. I was like, this is funny.
Oh my God, you're a real fan. Oh my
And
God.
it's this like because your humor, it reminds me of Vine days
Mhm.
where the humor was just like raw, no filters, just straight satire, just straight to the point joke. And
Mhm.
it's just like, yo, yes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
my question to you,
Mhm.
where does your content creation journey start?
See, it's actually, and I think this is really similar for a lot of people, but it's actually really embarrassing. I've been making content for years, on it for years, years, years. I think it's like since middle school, high school, maybe. Like I think I've gone through like 5 different YouTube channels. I only posted one video on Vine, but I had Vine like the day I literally downloaded Vine the day before it like got deleted. I was like, oh, this
Right.
sounds fun. I was like, maybe I'll get into this. And then like next day they're like, oh, and I was like, oh,
You thought.
never mind. No, but like, yeah, no. So like I think right now I think I'm on like my fourth YouTube channel or something like that. And truly I don't know what I really wish I had some like a fancy, like a really deep, like something poignant to say, but really it's because I am my biggest op and I'm like I'm the biggest obstacle in the way of me being successful. Cause like I feel like my humor has gotten better, like my joke stuff like that is like pretty much the same. It's like my issue's been me and like consistency. And like I've been making I've the positive is that like I'm really good at editing and I'm good at doing a lot of technological whatever's because I've been there since iMovie one. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Like
yo.
it's since where we're at now. So like it's yeah, no, I've been doing it for a minute. Looks out of a window. One's here.
And it's intriguing just watching how people they'll progress, not just within one platform, but across platforms.
Mhm.
And like going from YouTube to Instagram to TikTok to any given platform, like every single platform has like different rules of engagement, so to speak.
Yeah,
Difference
yeah,
between long form and short form. And
yeah.
it's just there's so much that goes into it. Now, when you go through any given idea, like walk me through your creative process. Like how do you come up with a video going from imagination into hidden post?
Into hidden posts. That's a good one. For me, especially recently, it's been the more I am okay with me and the more that I'm like getting out of my own way, like the easier it is for me to create things. Because like I too often I'm thinking way too much about like how, oh, how will this person feel or that person feel? How will this make me look because I'm making a joke about this or about that? Because like you, as you know, this as a content creator, like we have to make things based off of what's popular, what's in right now. So like I think, oh, like the Jack Harlow song that just came out right now. That then they're talking about like white boy of the summers, and every like different white boy content creator doing like a little in front of like the TikTok, like whatever. And like I want to make a video about that and like be like, oh, that's funny. But then immediately I'm concerned because like I made a video months ago where I was joking about like how it hurts my feelings more when black men like comment on my skin tone about being darker, about being not unattractive, whatever like that, than like any other race. And I thought it was funny, but the comment section was not having it. Like the video went viral, but it's like I'm telling you, like the entire comment section is like, oh, people just fighting each other and being like, well, it's blah, 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 blah. How dare you attack black men, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, that's not, no black men were attacked. That's not what was happening. I thought it was funny. I was saying, I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, it's just because you like white men anyway, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that's not what the joke is about. Exactly. So I'm like thinking just way too much. So it's like when I stop and I'm just being like my natural self, like I can make jokes. I do make jokes all the time. And then, so what, another thing I've been doing is that like I'll just write stuff down in a note when I'm like, oh, you know what, like that's something that's funny, or that like a weird thing just happened. Let me write that down, or something I'd like realize, or something I see. I'm like, okay, let me write this down. Maybe later on I might be inspired by this. But like often it's not like a lot of like work and prep. It's like I'll see something, I'm like, that's silly. And I'll like now literally immediately go and making a video and then I'll just post it. Like it is like it's real, it's that quick.
When it comes to content creation,
Mhm.
imagine a bag of popcorn being put in the microwave.
Mhm.
It's popping infinitely. It never stops.
That is what it is. And like sometimes you get a kernel and you're like, this is not it. But you'll put it down, but then later on you come back, you know what? Maybe it is it. And then you post it, it flops. You're like, I was right the first time. I should have believed in me. I just
But then it'd be the stuff that you be like, oh, I'll just post just to post. And then that's the one that goes viral.
honestly, all of my most viral videos, it's stuff like that. Like it's one of them was I was just practicing stand up because I'm also a stand up comedian, and like I was just practicing stand up, and I just post like a random joke before I like left for work or something. And I promise you, I'm not done up. I don't have good lighting, nothing. And I tell this joke. That video has like 8 million views right now. And that's always the story. I feel like all content creators are always saying that. They're always like, it's, I don't know what y'all want. But I think it's good because it like encourages you to like stop being like, I don't know, like not cultured, but like edited.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Like, no, no, that's what,
Culture? No,
yeah.
edit it. I mean, perfect.
Same words, basically. Um, but like not being so edited, not thinking so much about like just being your natural self. Cause like the way I try to explain to people whenever I do like freelance branding stuff, I'm like every social media platform is like a different language. And like you can translate between languages, but you're losing something. And then like there's a specific way you're supposed to talk in all these places. And the big thing with TikTok, the language is authenticity. You cannot take that Instagram polish, whatever stuff, and bring it to TikTok. It does not work. You can, you also, but a lot of time you can't take that weird, specific, like, guys, I was picking my nose today and I thought about Cheetos. I used to eat Cheetos when I was 6. Ah, ha, ha. And then they do like a Dougie or whatever. And
A
then like,
jig.
and like, because that would do exactly, that would do amazing on TikTok. People will love that. That does not do well on Facebook. That will not make any sense on LinkedIn. Instagram will, it will die there. But that's like, that's the whole thing. I feel like it, because of how the algorithm is, it encourages us to like just be yourself. You know what I mean?
Also, just to experiment.
Yeah. Just throw stuff at a wall. It don't even matter. Cause like the stuff, I swear, there's one time I spent an hour filming this video where it was supposed to be like in my car and I'm just like in different angles and doing all this other stuff. And I'm like editing it to make sure the music lines up, whatever. It got like 30 views. It for real got like 30 views. And I was like, you know what, TikTok, we about to scrap. We about to tussle. We really are. Cause you hitting on that nerve, you dancing on it. I can't.
Playing in my face.
You were like, like why? But then I did a video where like I went to the library and I like while as I was leaving the library, I looked down and I realized that my ankles were actually kind of ashy, and I was like, oh no, because my lotion was in my car, and I'm like, I've been in this library for the last 45 minutes, ankles ashy, drier than the Sahara, look like I've been a kickboxing flower in front of all these people. Oh my God. But like I look around and luckily I was in a predominantly white place and I was like, okay, I am safe. I am safe. But then as I walk out, like I promise you, right when I'm walking out is right when that one lone black person in the city walks by me, does the nod, and I like I want to look away, but I can't because you can't not give the nod back. So I'm like nod, and then they literally stop. They just look at my ankles and they look back at me. They just keep walking, and I'm like, oh no. They're gonna call the NAACP on me on
Hey,
stage for
yo.
20 minutes. Like it's like, and then so I made a video about that. And like that like because like that just it just happened and I was literally so ashamed. Oh, but then that one went viral and that one really, really well. And it's just stuff like that. It's like being real, being authentic, and then like it works.
Dang. Dang.
I said, I'm sorry. My lotion was in the car. I didn't know.
Oh my gosh. Now, when did you start stand-up comedy?
I think I started stand up, I want to say like it was very recent. So this is brand new. It's brand new. But I'm lucky. I'm doing pretty well. Like 5 months ago, I because sometimes I decided to just do stuff for the plot. Because if I'm gonna be in this world and suffering, I might as well have some fun with it. And I was just googling stuff, And this person, because like this person was like, oh, there's an improv troupe. And I'm like, okay, let's try improv. I've never done that before. What is that? And I showed up and I just like appeared and they were like, okay, you're on the team now. And I said, oh, wait, that's not what no, for sure. No, I love this. I'm a box. Like I just like what? And then someone who was there was like, oh, hey, like you do comedy. And I'm like, yeah, obviously, that's why I'm here. I'm a box. And then he's like, oh, like, can you fill in for one of my comedians that like he like OD'd or something? And I'm like, excuse me? And he's like, what? I'll do it.
Casual.
Exactly. So then like, and that's how it just happened. Like now I'm like, I'll like go to these different shows. I go to like coffee shops and I'm like doing open mics and I have like another show at the end of this month. And it's one of those things where it's like I didn't think that this would be a thing I would do, but then it's so frustrating because like you're trying to be like, what am I supposed to do in my life? And then you do something, you're like, this makes so much sense. Why did I not think of this before? God, why are you playing in my face? Like, what is? And then God's like, oh, excuse me. And I said, sir, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the audience.
I was playing.
I was just playing. Please, wait, stop. Yeah,
Yo.
no, but I don't really post a lot about that. I think it's because like and that's again because it's like my own like stuff because like obviously my FYP is showing me like the best of the best comedians. I've seen the funniest people on there, and then I don't want to post my stuff because I'm like, oh, but it's not as funny, and they doing whatever. And he was at the Laugh Factory in LA, and I was at Mountain Goat in Tulsa. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like so it's like, ugh. But I'm blocking my own blessings. That's what I'm doing for real. For real.
Yo. Now, it's beautiful that you mentioned improv because I did my first improv. When was this? It was a couple months ago.
Mhm.
Where I did a six class course, and then we ended off with a performance.
Mhm.
So much fun. I love improv so much.
It's literally I don't understand why it's so fun and why it's so funny, but it is. It is, and I promise you, it sounds like the most Caucasian activity. Because then you really try to explain it to somebody, it's like, yeah, so it's you and seven other strangers on a stage, and you pretend for an hour and a half. That'll be $15. And they're like, excuse me, what? And I'm like, you know what? Never mind.
Don't even worry about it.
Don't even think about it. It's fine. I'm actually free on Friday. What's going on? Like it's like oh.
But the funny thing is, though, people think improv is random, but
Mhm.
it's actually very like systematic. And if you
Yeah.
break the system, it actually breaks the flow.
Yeah, there's rules. And then like every like different theater has different games and stuff that they'll do. And then it really is based off of okay, so for people who don't know, it's like basically you have to trust the people that you're doing stuff with because if you get a theme if you get like a thing of like okay like your word is candy shop and you're like and you start coming in like well hello partner you come up with a big character doing nonsense your person that you're doing the scene with has to support you in that nonsense or you just look like two crazy people up there you got to
Mhm.
support you got to be like I'm crazy you crazy we ride together I ride hard for you you ride hard for me you said that we are not on the moon we are on the moon my spaceship is on did I say spaceship? Yes, as a spaceship on my back now. I'm a giant on the moon. You just got to you just keep going with it until like you're able to get off the stage. He's getting deep with it, but then it's fun. It is really really fun. I think it's really free, and that's something that's also helped with my content creation because like I will be up there and it's like because you have to make split second decisions and then like
Mhm.
commit to it. So then it's like will reflect in some of my videos. I'm like okay like it doesn't matter that like this or whatever. Like I'll just do the joke, do the thing, you know.
And the wild thing is, because you were in concentration before doing improv, it's an intriguing thing where you've been doing improv already, but the difference was it was just you. There was no audience, there were no other supporting cast members, and it's just
Mhm.
camera, phone, and you can edit. You ain't no editing in real life.
No, it's like because sometimes when you're editing, you'd be like, oh, I just have something funny, or let me add this onto it, blah blah blah. But like you can't do that. You can't get it back on stage. Like, hey, wait, actually, I remember with the Revolutionary War. Let me run that back real quick. Like that's not gonna. It's done. It's over.
Man, we were playing Zip Zap Zop. Sit
I hate that game so
down.
much. Oh my gosh.
Now, within content creation, I'm curious, have you experienced burnout recently, and how have you navigated it?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I have. Because so when I started really focusing on my TikTok, I had maybe like 400 followers. And I was like, let me focus in, let me get this bread, let me do this thing, whatever, like that. And as I would grow it to my platform now is like 29,000, I think, followers. And it's been at 29 for like months.
Well,
It
yep.
hasn't moved from there. It's just been just 29. And I'll see like the notification of like, oh, this person just followed you, this person just followed you. But like TikTok doesn't tell you like 28,762, 63. You know what I mean? Like those would be like, they just give you like the big ones. So like for me, it just really felt like I was stagnated. And then like usually I'll have like one or two videos go viral every week or something like that. But like for a minute, it was like every video didn't matter if I was putting no effort into it, and every effort into it, I was getting like at most like 500 views, maybe 700 views. No, and like one or two comments from like my followers that are like really like always up on my stuff. And I was getting like just like disillusioned. Like,
Mm,
because I'm like, I want this to be like my life. Like, I want to be a content creator full time. Like, this is what I want. And I'm like, I'm not doing it well. So, like, can I actually do this? So, what I did is I actually took 30 days and like I was off of all social media. I wasn't posting on anything. I wasn't even watching anything. I was just off of it completely because I was like, I have like lost focus about I don't know, I just like lost focus because like this is supposed to be something that's fun. I do want it to be my life, but like I'm not even having fun anymore. And I'm like, I'm not enjoying what I'm making. I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing. Like everything is because I would see other people do stuff and I would feel like jealousy. Like I would see, like, I even see you post stuff sometimes and I'll see people in your comments and be like, oh man, like I wish I had that for my videos. And like I can't even be happy for like my people. I'm like my mutuals like you. Like I hate that. I don't like that in my heart. So for 30 days, I just was on nothing. But it was unfortunate though, because like during those 30 days is when the whole Palestine thing started going down. So I promise you, it was like the day I came back. It was when the first Hamas attack at the concert, and I was like, hmm, okay, because I was in Palestine like a month before what's it? Yeah, so it was like so literally it was like I got back from Palestine and then because I was doing racial reconciliation work there with the Palestinian people, and then I was like, let me do this fast, and then I got off, and then I started seeing like everything was happening, and then Gaza and everything, and I was just like, oh, oh. So it's hard because like even right now I'm still kind of in that space where I'm like I don't I'm in a different space where it's like it's not that I am like not having fun with what I'm creating. It's like I don't feel right to create things. Like it doesn't feel right to be funny
mm,
right now. And I don't know how to make what's going on funny. And I don't think I should. So it's making me feel kind of like so I haven't been posting like at all. I used to be posting like 2 or 3 times a day, and now I'm posting like maybe once a day, maybe every other day. Yeah.
yep. Because real life, excuse me, real life goes on outside of these social media walls.
Mhm.
And it's a really important thing considering like burnout doesn't always just come from actually creating the content, but it
Mhm.
comes from like everything else that's going on in real life, whether it be news reports or you gotta pay bills or you have family stuff going on, you have relationships to deal with, you
Yeah.
have, any assortment of whatevers that impact your creative mind, your imagination and stuff, where you got to take that time to yourself. You got to take that moment to just be like, yo, if I don't post, social media gonna be there. I need to make sure I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. That's and like I don't and I'm still honestly I'm still dealing with that right now. Like like I want to be posting, but like I swear, like it's like I'll record stuff and I'll be watching it back because I'm trying to edit it, and like I like am like I feels like there's like I don't know like salt in my mouth, just like what like even just watching it, and I'm like I don't know how I feel, and like recently I think like today there's a creator who made a filter where it's like you're using a watermelon to like draw a squiggle, and everyone who uses it like it gives that creator money, and that creator can like donate that to Palestine, and it feels so like
Mm,
dystopian, and it feels so like but like she's doing something though, and then so then I get on myself because I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm not doing anything, or I feel like I'm not doing anything of worth, and I don't
mm,
know how to like bring it all back together. Because like the main point of my page is like I love my community and I love bringing joy to people and I love talking about super weird specific things with like people and like, but like I don't know. I feel like I just said I don't know like 12 times. Someone said I don't know for the 13th time to cap it off. I don't know.
That's all good. And you mentioned engaging with your community, and
Mhm.
how do you navigate engagement when, especially like there's negativity in the comments section, or like things that just like you weren't expecting to come up and they do come
Yeah.
up? Because you explained a little bit of it earlier, but
Yeah.
even like going deeper into that, like how do you handle engagement on your platforms?
I'm really lucky that most of my videos that blow up, the comment section are really, really nice and really chill. They're pretty supportive. And I make a point to try to always go through all my videos, the big ones and the small ones. Like I'm always like responding back to people's comments and try to like and be like interacting with everyone there. But for the ones that get really, really bad, like the video with the where I was making the joke of like, oh, it hurts my feelings. I truly just don't interact because it gets to a point in certain places where it's like this is not productive for either of us, and like I'm not going to be able to explain myself in a way that'll make this person happy and they're not going to like honestly just be happy. And it was like because the other thing is that like which I also I understand I'm internalizing is like I'm not a real person to them, you know what I mean? Like I'm a representation of this that and the third. I am like a trigger reminding them of like someone they've interacted with that said this that and the third. So like in the video, like in that video, like literally the like all I said was like, oh, like there's an audio that's playing and stuff like that, and I'm just being like, oh, like my basically my feelings are more hurt when like black men say this than if an Asian man or Hispanic man or white man said this about my skin tone. And I had people in the comments being like, this is what's bringing back down black men in their community, and like you're ruining like the love and black love is beautiful, blah blah blah. And I'm like, this what you're saying has I literally nothing to do with what I said, but like what I said has triggered something in you. So like there's no point in me trying to like what can I literally say? What could I do for you? The only one where like I literally was like, I really feel like I have to comment was like, because you get these notifications and I feel like they don't realize you get these notifications because like I'm seeing every single time someone is liking someone, someone's commenting someone. And there was one dude who like, because I posted this video like months ago. To this day, I promise you, I'm getting the same notification from this guy like I like once or twice a week where he's going back. I don't know if he favorited the video and he's like just making sure he's staying on top of it. But every time someone comments that says anything positive about me or like agreeing with what I'm saying or even like being like, LOL, that's funny, he like attacks them and he's down their throat. And so literally like I was like, I can't like I because I was seeing him doing this like for months and months. And I was like, okay. And I commented and I was like, hey, like I think I basically said something like, hey, I'm praying for you because there is something here that really has nothing to do with me. Because like honestly, I'm a stranger and I have nothing to do with you. And like if this is something that's upsetting you this deeply, like I want peace for you. And like you obviously don't have it. But like also again, there was no point in me saying that. It was making me feel better, be like, hey, like, bro, like, are you okay? But he can't hear my voice. So I'm sure it came off like it was like, bless your heart. You're pressed. Like, I don't know what's pressed about it, but you pressed. Like that, which wasn't my energy, I promise you. But like that's what it came off as. But like he doesn't know me also. Like we're not having a conversation. So he did not take it well. He got even uglier. And I was just like, all right, that was my fault. I tried to hug a bear. That was silly of me. But like that, like, so it's like stuff like that. I was like, there's no point even trying to. But I think, oh, another video that see, but this like stuff you just didn't because at least with that makes sense why people are mad. People can be mad about that, right? There was one video I was talking about Heart of Darkness. It is a book. It is a book that came out in like 1812. You've never heard of it because it's not good. It is it's one of those classics, right? They always put on the reading list. Let me tell you something. I have tried to read this book on like 37 different occasions. It is bad. It is bad. It is a bad book. And the thing that obsesses me about classics is that white men will just write some of that stuff down, and then for the rest of eternity, they'd be like, "Oh my God, this is the best book." Is no, it's not. I promise you, you can't even get past page one. It is so like it's annoying because like people think it's smart because it has big words in it, but it's not. The sentences aren't even constructed well. Like if I'm sitting there talking about your grammar, Like this ain't a book at this point. It's a diary, not even. So it's nonsense. It's not good. So I made a video and I was like, bro, this book is not good. And like, cause like I have personal like hatred towards it, obviously, as you can tell, because in my high school, my like AP English professor, like he was obsessed with this book. He was one of those pretentious people that was like, oh, I'm so smart. Oh no, I get it. I'm super smart. So he would bring up this book like every single week. Like we were supposed to read it for summer reading, and this man brought it up through the entire school year. And I was like, I hate this book. So I made a video where I was like, this is not a good book. I hate it. Ah, ha, ha. Why was I being attacked? Why did they want to draw and quarter me?
About literature?
About literature. Not even good literature. This isn't even like a book. Like if it was like Great Gatsby of like or Mice of Men or like To Kill a Mockingbird, like these are books that like at least were made into movies or like are more known in like the American zeitgeist. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to have read To Kill a Mockingbird or Uncle Tom's Cabin to like basically know the gist or reference of it. Ain't nobody know Heart of Darkness. Ain't nobody checking for Heart of Darkness.
All I hear is Kingdom Hearts, the video game. Like
It's not. And I promise you, the way my comment section on that video is so ugly with people that are like, well, you didn't even read it, you stupid bitch. And you're just like, whoa, 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 whoa. They're like, well, if you read it, maybe it was too smart for you because you're stupid. Ow. And I'm just like, okay, all right. Like it is like again, like at that point, I'm not even gonna interact with that. I think like I'm dumb. I'm actually no, I'm done. I'm a liar because I didn't interact, but I was being silly. Like this one guy, he gave me like an essay. You know how when it's too long, it starts breaking up into other comments.
Bro, when you gotta put part 3, 4, and 7, come on.
Yes, he was doing that, and I like literally I just commented to like part 7. I like scrolled all the way down, found part 7. I commented on that. And I said, "Sir, this is a Wendy's," and he deleted the whole thing. And I was just like, "All right." And I felt like that brought it back because like and people were trying to get heated, but like I would basically just give them like non-answer answers like that, where I'm just like, it's sir, it's a book from high school. It's not a good book. The plot's not good. It's not interesting. It's about like colonialism, like imperialism or something, like British people being British in like the 18th century. Like, why are we what are you telling on yourself? I feel like you're telling on yourself, honestly, if you finding this hard. So it's like stuff like that. But then that worked out. So all that to say, in general, my comment section is pretty chill. But when they're being very, very not chill, I just won't interact with it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Rolling trolls is actually a fun pastime of mine.
You were interacting with these people?
I get so you know my series like Uncultured 12-year-old.
Yeah.
The amount of times that people that 12-year-olds in my comment section saying, I'm 12 and I get that reference. Congratulations.
Thank you for the engagement. Like, you got me.
And then when I say like me with the 95 of my birth year, people will always be like, oh yeah, he's looking good to be born in 1950. And I like, okay, I see where you got the 95 from. So I'll do you one better. I was born in 95 BC. So anything you have to say is now null and void.
Yeah, I'm a vampire. I don't know if you knew that. I'm very open about it. I want to be transparent with my audience. I only feast on bunnies, though. I'm a vegan vampire. Like what were we just like?
I remember there was one time on Instagram, and I made a joke about student loans, and I said it was like I forget what the background noise was, background music was, but I was like, POV, y'all still paying them student loans or whatever. And somebody
You said what?
I said, y'all still paying them student loans?
I'm triggered right now. They're a lot.
But somebody in the comment section started going off about like being financially illiterate. They started dropping the gorilla emoji and the orangutan emoji over and over again and saying, if you were smart, then you would have done X, Y, and Z. I was like, At first, the first time they dropped the comment, they only had one gorilla in there. And I was like, well, I don't, where's the gorilla coming from? And like I kind of trolled them back a little bit. And then they kept going. And then they started adding more primates. And I was like, okay, yep. And then somebody else came into the comment section and was like, they were low-key defending me and arguing against the commenter number one. And commenter number two was like, what are you talking about? He's making a joke. Like, this is funny. And student loans are wild. Capitalism's crazy. And they went on and on. Commenter number one got like belligerently anti-black. And I was like, and then I went to the person's profile and I was like, oh, this is a very Wahite gentleman of the young of the young variety. I was like, oh, okay. Well, here's what here's what we're not going to do is continue this foolishness. Blocked, deleted.
Yeah.
Video's still up because the video going video regardless.
Exactly.
But when I tell you, I had never in all my days. Wow.
It's because sometimes you forget that like racism is a thing. You know what I mean? It's like you are just going about your life and you're like, I am a person in America. And then someone goes, black monkey, porch monkey,
me, bro.
Negroid. And you're just like, okay, this is weird. This is literally Walmart. Like we're in the ice cream section at Walmart.
In the self-checkout.
But what is the energy? What's going on? And they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just frustrated because you were taking too long. I'm sorry, what? Okay. All right. And then, you want to say some stuff, but that would not be smart or safe. So you just go like, okay, praying for you. God bless your heart. Gonna leave now, May. Like they're just on one. Not that they're on it, they live on it. They have a house, I got a condo and a timeshare. They on one. Sats. It's
and a major thing that I always remind myself, and also I've heard it in other content creators' interviews and podcasts and just things about talking about engagement and handling negative interaction with your content. Is that any given person's comment, especially when it's negative, that comment is a reflection of that individual who made the comment, not of you, more often than not. Now, there's some people out here content creating, they're creating havoc and it's mess.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that. Then people, they need the Lord. But when you're actually not harming anybody, you're making like comedic satire and stuff like that. When people latch on to something, as you mentioned, there's a piece of a trigger in there somewhere that they're just releasing. Well, it's like they get triggered and they release everything
they've been holding back
with the fingers.
Yeah.
Ain't that deep?
It's not that deep. I promise.
But also, if it isn't deep for you, just don't put it in the comments section. Go talk to a professional.
Like, I want you to be so through with yourself. Like, I want you to look in the mirror and be like, self, like maybe we need to work on some stuff. Because I promise you, this is a video about Twilight. No need for the energy you're bringing to this video about Twilight, sparkly vampires, and racist Native American werewolves. Like that. Like, why are you talking about your daddy and like him abusing you? Like what? Like and how I brought that up. I didn't bring that up. I didn't. Janica. I just like.
Other than content creation and social media land, you already touched on some other things that you're into, which is improv, stand-up comedy, which is dope. Well, what else? What else off camera does Paulina do?
What else does Paulina do? Paulina sits and she cries. No, I'm kidding. I love you. You're like, you're trying to laugh, be like, oh, I'm concerned.
Well, same.
No, I'm kidding. No, so improv, comedy, and then now, so I used to do this a lot more before the pandemic. I would do like mission trips that were like actually like doing actual things. It's because unfortunately, a lot of
Volunteerism.
mission trips are basically vacations, and they'll find the first like starving child they see and take like a selfie with it and then drop it on the floor and then like go off to their 5-star hotel. And like that's some nonsense. And I've been really blessed to be like to know and be a part of church communities where like they're actually doing things, and like you are putting your money towards, like you're not saying like a 5-star hotel, you're saying like the cheap is the cheap, so you can put more money towards whatever organization you're working with. So before the pandemic, that was like sex trafficking in Bali, and like, you know, like economic development in Guatemala, and then blah blah blah, like doing stuff in Detroit. Actually, oh, during the Syrian crisis, like trying to help and assimilate a lot of Syrian refugees in like Muslim communities in Detroit, which I didn't even know that was a thing. But
Mhm.
you said, I'm about to embarrass myself because I do not know American geography. You said Baltimore, is that north?
Yeah, Baltimore is so Maryland very specifically is in the middle of the East Coast, like smack dab in the middle of the East Coast.
Okay.
So we're below Michigan, which is where Detroit is.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm
But it's
visualizing.
more north than Texas.
Yeah, for sure. You see why I never had to worry about it, because they'd be like, point to the state. I'm like, that's us right there. I'm good, thank you. Like it's like nothing else really mattered. Um, but I didn't even know this, but there's like a huge like Muslim population that's like randomly just in Detroit, but like in a city that's inside the city of Detroit. There's another city inside of it. It's like like a donut hole, like
Mhm.
the whole like that. There's another city there, and that's called Hamtramck. And I was there doing like that. So most recently, I was in Palestine, Israel, doing racial reconciliation. It was running a children's camp for Palestinian kids and Israeli Jewish kids. And then there was also some refugees from, I do not remember off the top of my head, but also some refugees, because like it really sucks because everything that's going on right now. But the main thing was that a lot of what's happening is because of ignorance on the Jewish community side, and like that doesn't make anything okay at all. But it's like this thing where it's like it's crazy. They live in the same country, and the country is literally so freaking small. But there's Jewish people that have never interacted with Palestinian people, never spoken to them. They don't know anything about them. They're so isolated. So it's so easy for the government and the people around them to be telling them lies about Palestinian people. So we literally were smuggling Palestinian kids into like this children camp, and then smuggling the Jewish kids also, and like just letting them, like it was literally the whole point was like that they are going to hang out, that they're going to laugh, and they're going to play, make memories with each other over like 2 weeks, just to combat all that ignorance. And it was great, and it was amazing. And and it's really hard right now to see what's happening, because the whole point of it's not so that what's happening now is not going to happen. But also it's, I don't know, many words, many words, many words. But anyway, yeah, so things like that. And also unfortunately work, because that's something I need to do to feed myself. My landlord's like obsessed with me seeing him monthly for some
every
reason. every
monthly.
every month, and he wants me to bring him money when I see him. I think it's rude, honestly. I just think like gifts could be other things, sir, but he wants money every time, and I'm just like, that's crazy. So I gotta make things happen to make that happen. So that's how I spend my time when I'm not content creating.
That checks out.
Mm.
And this is so dope, and this is why I wanted to have like these types of conversations with content creators, because what people see on their For You page is never the whole story. Even if you were to post 24-hour live coverage, that's still only 1/16th, only 1/32nd of your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And making sure that you just have an opportunity to just rap and just talk about things that you love talking about, but you just don't do it often on whatever platform.
Yeah, I just haven't thought of any funny jokes that have to do with any of that. So I was like, we'll stick to the vampires and the Twilight and the applesauce. We'll just do that instead.
Do you have any questions for me?
I got a book of random questions actually, because I'm working on something else. Oh, okay. There's a moral dilemma, because I'm working on a lot of moral dilemmas right now. Okay, so You're a detective.
Mhm.
Okay. You and your wife just had your first child a year and a half ago. It was a very hard birth. She did not do well during it. And afterwards, she was dealing with postpartum and like wasn't really connecting with the child. It took a really long time, a lot of prayer, a lot of work, a lot of therapy. Finally connecting with the child, everything is kosher and good. That was a year and a half ago, right? So the baby's a year and a half old, right? You get called into the hospital that you gave birth at. It was a really small like clinic. Like their security is super super bad, and they want you to look into the security because they think that some of the orderlies have been doing weird stuff at the hospital. You look at the security cameras, and there's one or two security cameras, and they flash out, so like you don't have every single day. And out of curiosity, you look at the day when your child was born, and then you find out that one of the orderlies switched your baby with another baby. So you and your wife thought that she was going through hormones or whatever like that, couldn't connect to this child, feeling like it wasn't her child. No, it really literally was not her child. So now you're sitting in the room, you're looking at the camera, you just saw this orderly switch the babies, right? You are the only person who has seen this. If you delete it, no one will know because like I said, these are horrible security. What do you do?
I'm telling my wife immediately, we're gonna go find a real baby. Not even hesitating. And the funny thing is, I
Yeah.
literally just got married October 7th. So
Oh, I
like the
remember.
wife thing is like
I said this.
real. It's real.
You're like, this is real.
I cannot lie to my wife about anything. I
Yeah.
would not be able to keep that secret. We're finding a real baby. All that therapy and stuff, dope. Get that baby back to their real parents. We gotta go find our child.
But
Not,
you bonded with that baby though.
I don't care. That's y'all can be friends. Y'all can be friends. That baby also not gonna remember you. It's 1.5.
Okay, but you bonded with it though. You changed that baby's diaper. You fed it. So you over it. You're like, if you never see that baby again, you chill. You cool. You step in.
Yes.
Wow. Men are
Zero
hot.
hesitation.
Men are heartless. Oh my God.
We can be friends.
You
I
can be
can be like,
friends a
yo.
baby. What do you mean? That baby thought that you were its father.
So then you just proved my point. I'm finding my child.
Okay, okay. Dang, I don't even know like what would even be the legal precedent for that? Like let's say you find your child and then the other family is like, I don't want to give it back. This is our baby.
I have blood tests to prove otherwise.
Oh, I don't know where you were going. All I heard is I have blood. I said, sir, what? I said he said juju immediately. I said, he said
No,
got the blood magic. I said, wow, wait, oh, I gotta go actually. Oh,
we 50 minutes in and then you just finding out.
yeah.
No, I have paternity tests. We have maternity tests. We have blood samples to say that's actually our biological offspring. Give it back.
But
Thank
like
you.
legally, it's not. But and just playing devil's advocate,
The
legally, it's
devil don't
not.
need no advocates. Give us back our baby. It's only been 450 days,
Do you still
whatever
have
a year and a half is in number of days. Give us our baby back.
I mean, that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be a hard sell.
For whom?
For them.
Not I, not us.
Okay, okay. What if you found out when the baby was older? What if you found out when your child's like 14?
18? Oh, okay. 14, 18, 4 years difference. Just that's middle school, high school. That's high. 14, 18? That's high school. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I would be a little bit more difficult, a little bit more time invested.
Oh, a little bit more time.
But around the child, they can stay as our adopted child.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
I still need to find my real baby.
But they're extra not gonna want to give you this kid.
Where's my child?
No, it's my turn now.
No.
No, that's my baby girl.
No.
like, I because it just gets harder because it's like it's 14 years. Like, cause like, are you? Cause like, let's say they're like, okay, like let's work together. Are you gonna switch kids? I
By
feel
the time they hit middle school, 14, by the time they hit high school, they've already had a very established life wherever they are. It'll be difficult to just do like a hard switch. That's difficult. At 1.5, that's easy as ripping off a band-aid. But at 14, that's a little bit more difficult. Now, I do up to a certain point, I think a lot of it would depend on the child. Like, as a random adult saying, you're my biological child, come with us, that's also daunting.
that's weird.
I'm not putting that on the child to make the decision. Just to let me see that my actual child is alive and well. Like by that point.
Yeah.
But at 1.5, give me back my baby. I'm not leaving without my child.
You can take this one back. I don't want it no more.
You can take this one back, or if you don't want this, we'll keep this one as well. I just know that I know that this is not my biological baby. I'm gonna take care of it if that needs to be the case. But also, give me back my biological babies.
That'd be so awkward if, like, let's say that family wants you to just keep both of them. Like, if it's years down the line, the other one, the one that's not your biological kid, that's gonna be, he gonna have a chip on his shoulder. He'd be like, Daddy said he don't even want me. He said he wanted you.
Now, I didn't explicitly say I do not want you.
That's what you said.
I explicitly said I want my biological baby. Now, if you're gonna stay with us, I'm emotional like I'm carrying a 1-year-old. If the baby needs to stay with us, raising them like it's like their own, no qualms.
Just call him fake son one.
No, adopted child one.
That is so Caucasian, so please.
I
swear,
Look,
the way
but I'm
that
not gonna leave.
this
I'm
is
not
my
gonna leave
step.
the baby. I'm not gonna leave the baby if the other family is negligent.
Yeah.
Who else have you asked this question to?
Oh no, you're my first person. I have a list I'm working through.
I guarantee you, I would be probably the one who answered the quickest.
No, I think honestly, what I've noticed is what I'm thinking is going to be like a gender difference, because men are more usually focused on like biological ties, and like women are more focused usually on like
Emotional time.
emotional ties. So like literally, my thought is like, okay, but like this, I raised this child as my child, and you're like, bloom skirt, return it to the store. I don't know that. I don't know that baby. I don't know that baby. What's my baby? And you're just like that. Your baby's a stranger. Like even the 14-year-old, like if it's 14, when you're 14, that is a stranger. This is my child. But see, and then like you're like, that's crazy. See,
That 14-year-old joint, that is very difficult because I'm just like the amount of time that's invested that goes into that. Now, granted, 1.5 years after giving birth to a child, that is a very long bonding time as well. Like, just, I would never know this. Never gonna carry a child. However, I do understand that even before the child is in the world, that pregnancy time is a long, long time. It's a long, however, 9 months, 8 months, 11 months, I don't know, depending on the term. But my goodness, if I saw that tape, I must report back immediately, expeditiously. I'm not keeping that with just
the quickness, with
the swiftest movement of a. You're not gonna believe what I just saw in this tape. I'm not even gonna dial the phone. It's gonna be magically already calling her.
like, ma'am, I saw something. We put
On
the baby
FaceTime.
down.
Look at this. Somebody look at this. Yo, I always find those so intriguing, though, like moral dilemmas. I remember in college, quick aside, I took a moral, excuse me, it was like a moral ethics course, but it was specifically about like medical ethics and stuff like that. And we would talk about like euthanasia and like when it's okay and like different types of moral dilemmas and ethics and stuff like that. So these types of questions always intrigue me.
It might be my next series. I don't know.
Yeah. The comment section.
No, because I did one where it's like, because I was gonna write a paper on this about the idea of incest, where it's like
I
people,
remember that. Remember that video.
the way
He's like,
they,
how close is too close?
how close is too close, and people were getting mad, and they were like, "Oh, just tell me what I was supposed to be," because I'm like, "That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying here's the facts. We are all related." See, because when I first found that out that everyone is actually related, I was like, "Swear down." That's disgusting. I'm like, oh my God. So like, I'm like, now you have to have a number, have to have an understanding of like what you're okay with, especially if if you are dating within your race in like your area, you have an even higher chance of like, I'm so sorry, I know you just got married. Don't think about this. Other people, not you, other people.
The other people, not you though.
You,
Not you.
you fine, you straight. Like this is happening, and I was using like in my other videos I was using examples of like crazy examples, like the guy who accidentally like married his sister. Did you see that one?
The actual news story?
No,
No.
well,
But your
unfortunately,
video, potentially.
my I mean my video, but like unfortunately the stuff like this happens a lot, and I'm just like, oof, I feel real. But it's because like in but it like it happens a lot in smaller areas where it's like there's less of a population. And I just feel like if it's me and I'm giving up two of my babies in like the same area, I'm gonna put them into different cities. That's just me, in my opinion. But like their mother was like, I don't care. So figure that out.
Y'all grown.
Literal babies, y'all.
Yo. Well, that's all I got. This conversation was amazing.
Oh man, thanks, thanks, thanks.
But yeah, thank you for your time. This is so fun seeing people beyond just the content that they post.
Mm-hmm.
It's also great when the people beyond the content that they post are actually like dope and genuine and kind human beings.
Oh my God, thank you, thank you. Same word. Thanks, thanks, thanks. Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. I think it's been interesting for me too, where it's like I'm like meeting you, meeting other people, and getting other mutuals, where I'm like, oh, you're people. You know what I mean? Because you're kind of, especially when you're transitioning from that spot of being like just another TikTok person to like a content creator. I'm like, oh, they're people, like I'm people.
Yeah.
That's weird. Like,
We all
but
got bills. We all go to the
yeah,
bathroom. Like,
yeah, like it was, we all out here struggling. We all thought that that'd be funny, and it's not funny. Like it's cool. It's cool. So this has been really cool for me too.
now, last question. What is one piece of advice that you would give to somebody who is looking to become a content creator?
Go to therapy.
Say more about that.
It was quick with it. It was quick with it. But it's because like honestly, I've been, you know how sometimes you have like those daydreams where you're like being interviewed by like Jimmy Kimmel, or like you're on a press run for your like third movie and you're like, oh, I'm a millionaire. Like that, it just that happens a lot. And I always get that question in my dreams. And and like I honestly feel like that is an answer I don't hear. And I think that's an answer that needs to be like the answer. Because people be like, oh, work hard, believe in yourself. You're not gonna work hard if you are not in a way. No, I don't even mean like if you're mentally unwell. I don't even mean that. I mean like if you think that it is impossible for you to do this because you think like this of yourself, then you're not gonna do it. And you're not gonna be able to do it. If you, like I was saying, like get like a big thing, I get in my own way. I'm thinking way too much about this, about whatever, like that. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna be successful. Um, it's really like go to therapy. Like you are your biggest op. You are the biggest person that's going to ruin this, like ruin the opportunity of doing it for you. And like, because on paper, it's very easy, it's very simple.
Mhm.
Post multiple times a day, make funny things, interact with people, follow the trends. It's on paper so simple. You Google like how to get big on whatever, like every single article will say those exact same things, but like actually doing it, it's you, and you got to get yourself right. And it's like I think there's like a, I don't know if it's a Bible verse or if it's like a worship song lyric, but it's like when you wash the inside of a cup, the outside becomes clean.
Mm.
So it's like when you work on your inner stuff, it like bleeds out into everything else. And not just in content creation, it's like your marriage, your relationships, your work, your writing, like your day-to-day interactions, even with yourself, how you dress, like you take care of yourself, how you eat, like working on your inner stuff bleeds out into everything else. And like that's honestly, I think that's the best advice. And then the second part is being so for real with yourself, because it's really easy for us to excuse a lot of our behaviors and our actions because we're like, well, it's because I grew up in this certain environment, or like, oh, it's because my parents weren't nice to me, or like I was bullied, or this horrible thing happened in my childhood. And in no way am I invalidating any of those things. Those are very real, very heavy stuff. But the issue is that, like, while that's not your fault, all these things are your problem. And these things will get in your way of becoming the person that you want to be. And that's why, like, you have to be for real with yourself and get that therapy and, like, to become that person. Like, because I swear I'll see it all the time. Whereas, like, people who are like, I don't want to use a specific example because I'm thinking about specific people. Let me not call.
Yeah.
Well, Caitlyn. No, I'm kidding. But like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna call a random celebrity. Like, okay, so R. Kelly, right?
Robert.
Okay, so everyone saw that interview, that last interview he did before he went into the clink clink, right?
With
And he
Gail
was
King,
like,
right?
wait, well, yeah, with Gail King, and he's like, I'm fighting for my life, like it's so hard, like when I was a child, blah blah blah. And like, I'm not, again, I am not invalidating the struggle this man went through. Like, he did have a really hard childhood. He was taken advantage of by like these record companies and everything like that. They did steal from him. But that doesn't make what he did to those young women, what he was doing to those young women, and what he's done in the past, okay.
Mhm.
But in his mind, he felt like it was. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, well, these things happen to me. And it's like, no. You're taking accountability for yourself and for your actions. But that only happens when you can be for real with yourself. And that only happens when you get that therapy. So it's like, it's a step, 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 step. Yeah. So wash some cups. Wash some cups, guys. And then you can be a big content creator just like us.
Yeah. Yo, that's crucial. And it also reminded me of can't put new wine in old skins. So in that, it's like no matter what you try to do to fulfill that void,
Mhm.
and a lot of times people get on these social media apps, they go viral a couple of times, and then it's like they're constantly chasing that high of validation and high of, oh my goodness, all this attention. But it's like, if you ain't settled in yourself, if you're not confident and you don't have the highest of self-esteem and you're only worried about validation of other people,
Mhm.
it's gonna get old. It's gonna get
That's
old.
usually being like a king back type of content creator. Nah, no. I know that man's not okay.
It's gonna get old.
No, he's not okay. Um,
But yeah, but yeah, so thank you for your time. And this this is this was so fruitful.
okay, Pastor. Oh my God. You better pray
Only
to
stay
end this.
low. Hide out, hide out. Oh,
Okay,
but yeah.
okay. I'm gonna not be fake, and I'm gonna go follow you on Instagram because I definitely did not catch that follow. But yes, thank you. Good times, good friendship.